morning, Rhode Island. Today we're here at Newport Storm Brewery with one of the owners and brewmaster, Derek Luke. Thanks so much for being here today with us, Derek.
I'm always here.
So we're going to start with some questions about the area. Why do you think that the area of Newport is good for this industry?
The area of Newport is good for the industry just because we're a local brewery, and whenever a lot of people come by and visit a very touristy town like Newport that has a lot of great historical attractions and geographical attractions, it's nice to have a local brewery around. People always ask for that. And then professionally, the beer landscape in Rhode Island is changing a lot, where we're not only just one, we have a whole bunch of other brothers around.
Why do you think that tourists should visit while they're in the area?
Have a beer, obviously. No, but we do a really unique thing here where the city of Newport allowed us to build this property on city land, and so we offer a great attraction, whether it be a sunny day or a rainy day. One thing that we do, which is really neat upstairs, is a timeline, a very interactive and professional tour that talks not just about our beers, but the industry in general. So I don't know if people would agree with me where it'd be an actual educational experience, but you actually really learn a lot here, so it's kind of neat to visit.
So you guys got to build this building by yourselves?
Well, I mean, I didn't do the actual fabrication, but yes, this was a patch of grass in 2009, and we were able to erect a building that we've since added on to since then.
What are the advantages of your location compared to other breweries?
Again, we're not like super on the tourist footpath, if you would, and tourism really isn't our primary focus. But one advantage is there's a state highway less than 300 feet from our brewery, so the accessibility to the facility that we put up is really awesome. And then obviously the parking that we have outside too, which a lot of other brewers, if they're in a more of a downtown location, they don't really have.
So I noticed while I was walking in that you have a gift shop. What types of things are available in your gift shop?
The gift shop is expanding. Riley, who manages it, is doing a really neat job with it. Most people, when they think gift shop, it's just beer, it's just rum. But we have obviously mixed six packs or full six packs for people to take away, growlers for beer, small 375 milliliters of rum, T-shirts, apparel, but also neat little things like soap and chessboards and flasks and things made out of our oak barrels and things. So.
Do you guys do anything to collaborate with the locals?
Yeah, I mean, be it a beer dinner or be it Colby, he's a local Newporter that makes our soap. So be it a beer dinner on a professional actual, this is what we do, we're out here to sample our product, but also if somebody has something that they can offer us that we could actually sell inside here, we're always ears. Wow,
okay, so now we're going to move on to the brewing. Okay. Can you tell me what the first step in brewing is?
First step in brewing is ordering things. But because it's a commodity, that's actually getting tighter and tighter and tighter, be it hops or grain or whatever, specialty kinds of grain. But the first step in brewing, after all that is in place, would be adding grain to our mashing tun that I remember you had a fun day with us doing.
I did.
So the grain would get milled through our malt mill and then carried up through various augers to our first brewing vessel, which is called the mash tun. It takes about 45 minutes to get up there, and then ultimately we'll be en route to our kettle as the day progresses. How
many people does it usually take to start the process?
Just one.
Okay. Would you say it's labor intensive?
That might be an understatement.
Yeah. What do you think some negative aspects about brewing are?
Negative aspects? I mean, safety is always a big concern here. You're working with a lot of pressures, you're working with a lot of hot things, you're working with chemicals. So as long as you're aware of how things are going and making sure you don't get burned with super hot things, and just generally understand your surroundings, that would really be the only negative thing I would be thinking about. I mean, there are heavy things, 55-pound sacks and on your feet for some long periods of time, but those would really be the disadvantages, I guess.
Do you have any favorite parts of brewing?
When you're kegging a tank and it's done, or bottling a tank and it's done, that's always a really fun feeling.
How did you get to learn which hops taste good in which beers?
We have a pretty cool pilot system here that we fabricated on site, and so we try different tinctures, if you would. We'll add a little, some hops to some warm water in a glass, mix them around and smell them. But what has happened also is you can actually look at the scientific profile of the individual hop and be like, oh, that has certain kinds of oils that I'm interested in, and almost kind of build a recipe around that as far as the initial test batch, and then obviously it's your taste buds that say yay or nay.
Wow, okay. Does your brewing do anything to help the local community?
Yeah, we give all of our spent grain to a local farmer. He raises Black Angus and belted Galloways here on the island, cows and pigs, and then we have a big pig roast every year, which is our luau that happens always the third Saturday in August. It's a giant fundraiser for one of the state's premier forts that we do here, that we have here in Rhode Island. I mean, as far as other local economy things, just being part of someone's beer menu often can elevate a check average if you're a server at a local restaurant as well.
Can you explain some of the science behind brewing?
Yeah, I mean, there are volumes of books on it, but that's one thing that all of us came to the table with. The 4 original founders graduated with varying science degrees, mostly in biochemistry from Colby College. So from understanding pHs to enzymes to titrations when you're cleaning things, you mix kind of all that in with some engineering and some fluid dynamics, and you're able to at least get that's a long question to answer.
So
that's the overview.
There's a lot to remember.
There's a lot to
brewing.
remember, yeah. And that's a lot of it is trial and error and process by learning too. None of us had professional brewing experience. We've kind of self-taught ourselves. So.
How long have you been in the brewing industry?
The day after I graduated college in '98, I told my mom I was going to move to Rhode Island and build a brewery.
Okay.
So there you go.
A while.
I don't have a resume.
Do you wish for your children to take over for you one day?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be awesome. We, littler hands always can get into smaller places to clean, I guess.
Right, yeah. So now we're going to move on to the bottling process.
Okay.
How many bottles does one batch of beer fill?
Anywhere from 19 to 21,000, depending on the yield.
Okay, so a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think you could bottle an entire batch in one day?
We do it every time.
Oh, okay. How many people does it usually take to bottle a batch?
Generally 3. With some volunteer help sometimes. You have to make the case boxes before the beers go in them. But there's one guy that loads the bottles onto the track for a twist rinsing. The bottler, though it's automated, kind of takes a person to monitor it if it's being happy. And then labeling machine puts labels on my hand, and then one person hand packing. So it's a very labor intensive process.
I
but
see that.
It's what part of beer, part of being brewing. You got to package it.
Does the machine that you have make the pop-off or the twist-off lids? And which one do you prefer?
The bottling machine, actually, it's the glass mold that comes, mold, M-O-U-L-D, not M-O-L-D.
Oh, okay.
So the glass itself would tell you if it's a pop-top or a twist-off lids, and right now we use pop-top bottles.
Okay.
It's just more of a classic style of a long neck bottle that we just decided to go with 15, 16 years ago.
How did you come up with the design for your bottles?
Again, we don't have a custom mold. You can do that if you're not necessarily a lot bigger than us, but are willing to invest for a glass company to make, say, the Newport Storm logo on your beer bottle. We're just not quite at that volume yet, so we use a stock item, I guess, is one of the reasons why we chose to go with it. And the stock item that we chose is one that's in inventory a lot, so that's something I don't really want to get burned on. There's a lot of things that go into brewing, and if the last thing that happens is I can't get a batch of glass, then that creates log jams for our production schedule.
Okay. Do you produce bottles and store them here, or do you outsource?
Oh yeah, no, we buy bottles from, actually I just switched bottle companies. They now come from Tennessee, I think, or Wisconsin, and then we'll buy a truckload and warehouse that truckload here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just pull from that. And a truckload's about 4 batches.
Oh, okay, so you can fit a lot in there.
Yeah, get about 90,000 bottles.
How many stores sell your beer?
Can I get a lifeline? I don't know.
A lot?
I mean, 85% of our beer is sold in Rhode Island, so I don't know, maybe 150 stores in Rhode Island, and then we're in 5 or 6 other states.
So if we walk into a liquor store in Rhode Island, we're most likely to see a Newport Storm.
Yeah. The Rhode Island liquor store community it supports us pretty well. So they might not carry all of our varieties that we use, but for the most part, or that we make. But for the most part, they'll have our best-selling amber ale in stock.
How long does the whole process take from beginning to end? The whole bottling process?
The bottling process Well, there's 5 components of machinery to the bottling process, and if they're all happy, I think we've done it in 7 hours. We've been here as long as probably 22 or 23 at OWAC too. So
Oh, wow.
when stuff breaks, you just gotta fix it.
What is your favorite part about bottling?
When the tank is empty.
Yeah. Do you have any negative aspects that you're aware of about bottling?
Not necessarily negative aspects. One thing that we're working more and more on is something called TPO, or total packaged oxygen. And some recent results came back as the science community makes special machinery that will come down to something that we can actually use. We're able to monitor our oxygen levels in what's called parts per billion now. And the negative aspect was finding out that our oxygen levels were really high a little while ago, just because you can get that information, but when you choose to act on that information, it's multi-thousands of dollars to try to get that better. But it automatically adds shelf life to your product, so it's certainly worth it to invest.
In this location, do you carry every bottle of beer that you've made?
You mean like
one of each?
No, and I'm sad I didn't, only because there was a guy a little while ago who had a tasting of all 26 of our Cyclone Series beers. And I was like, wow, that was dumb of me to not keep at least one of every one. But at the same token, when you're so excited to get it out, you don't think of keeping some for yourself. So. Yes.
Okay, Derek, well, we were so happy to have you here today. Thank you for answering all of our questions.
No problem.
And we hope you have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.